The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Twin Falls Fire Department, Iowa, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 37534. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation. Starting just under the front bumper, you'll find 2 open-ended tow hooks attached to the passenger and driver side frame rail. Moving up onto the face of the bumper, you'll find dual air horns. In the center, you're going to find your unit identifier E2. Also located just to the right of that location in the image, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker. Let's move up onto the bumper extension, where you'll find a tubbed hose storage. D-handle gains you access into this space. And then to the driver's side, where you'll find your mechanical siren. Let's move up onto the cab face, where you'll find a turn indicator marker light on the outer edge, headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. The high beam will be located on the inside. Just up from that, an emergency warning light cluster forward facing. There are 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. And as we move to the outer edge, you'll find a mirror housing flat and convex mirrors. As we move up to the brow of the apparatus, you'll find your ID clearance lights. There are 5 of them. And then up onto the roof, you'll find your forward-facing floodlight. Moving over to the driver's side, you'll find your Opticom. And then up onto the very top of the roof, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Let's go ahead and take a look at some close-ups of the images that we just talked about. First, bumper extension. On the side, you'll find side-facing emergency warning lights. As we move inside to the bumper extension tubbed storage location, you're going to find dry deck material and also a swivel discharge. The next set of images are going to be of the truck side view. This is the cab section, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the body section. This is just to give you a preview of what we're going to be talking about. Then as we move around now to the driver's side full view, then we'll move into the cab section. Take a look at the body area, and then we'll look at the rear of the truck. And then let's go ahead and take a look with all compartments open. This is going to be on the driver's side, and then we'll finish up here on the passenger side and rear of the truck. Let's go ahead and start now with the front driver's space. We'll start at the front of the truck with the driver's door affixed to the door panel. Safety and warning placard information. Also, you'll find the door lock and latch, and then also electric windows and a grab handle. As we move down to the step well, you'll find the air inlet, and then as we move up to the pedestal of the seat, you're going to find the battery voltage charger indicator. When plugged into Shoreline power, this becomes active. Let's go ahead and move down to the floorboard area, where you'll find this placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation. This also has information from the VIN number to all of the fluid capacities for each component on the vehicle, fluid capacity, and also fluid type. As we move to the floorboard, you'll find the mechanical siren foot pedal. This is right next to the brake treadle. And then as we move up to about the left knee of the operator, you'll find the master battery switch, quarter turn, tech module, engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic port. As we move down, we do have some additional switches where we're going to find the ABS diagnostic switch, DPF regen, engine diagnostic switch, and then also regen inhibit. To the right of that, a display module port. You'll also find the stationary OK to pump and roll, water pump, and foam system. To the right, you'll find the pump pressure. It's a digital readout at the right side of the steering column. As we move up to the left-hand side of the dash, we're going to find the start and ignition switch. To the right, you'll find a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. It will engage and disengage all emergency lights with one switch. Also to the right, headlights and also a panel switch, which allows you to brighten or dim lights when they preview the operator. To the right, the high idle indicator and OK to engage the high idle switch.
To the left, you'll find the transmission oil, depth level, and water temp. On the right, you'll find volts, fuel, front air, and rear air. In the center, we're going to find the tachometer and speedometer. Diagnostic information displays above and below the speedometer, in addition to a digital readout just below the speedometer. Let's move just to the right. General view here of the right of the operator's position. Let's start with the Pierce command zone. Tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. It is a touch screen and also function buttons. See the owner's manual for more information. To the right of that was the windshield wiper, push for fluid, and settings. You'll also have an engine brake on and off, a settings switch for that engine brake, and then also mirror heat. Moving down from this location, we're going to find the pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. It's the yellow diamond. Just to the right, we're going to find the Allison Transmission Pad. We do have a pump in neutral note and then also some caution information. Also in this area, we're going to find the flat mirror and convex mirror control, heat, air conditioning, and also defrost located in the upper section. As we move to the right, you're going to find your siren control module and PA speaker. You'll also find 12-volt access via USB style and also barrel style. Let's go ahead and look overhead of the operator's position. You'll find this yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 10 feet 1 inch, the length of the vehicle, 32 feet 5 inches, gross vehicle weight rating, 45,000 pounds. As we move to the right, we've got some switch panels here. First, let's start with the emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, and upper rear warning. As we move further to the right, an additional switch panel where we're going to find the high beam flash, the Opticom switch, and then air horn. There are 3 future switch locations also just to the right of this area. Let's move to the next switch panel where we'll find our scene lights. First, let's start on the left and we'll go through the sequence. Front scene, driver's side scene, passenger side scene, and rear scene. Future switch location, and then also load manager. When any of these light switches have been activated, the light will illuminate within the switch. To the right, you'll find the traffic advisor. From this location, let's move overhead where you'll find a red flashing light indicating do not move your apparatus when the light is on, indicating you have a door or compartment open. This is your air conditioning unit. As we move behind the driver's seat when plugged into Shoreline power, you'll find this outlet becomes active, activating your battery charging system. As we move down affixed to the wall of the rear seat section, you're going to find this handle. This is the manual control handle for the cab tilt. As we move once again some close-ups, this is the 20 amp Shoreline outlet. Let's go ahead and move exterior now to the section just behind the driver's seat where you'll find exterior door, LED lighting, adjustable shelving, and at the top section, Shoreline outlet, and then also a 12-volt bus panel. Moving down now, you'll find Michelin tires and Alcoa wheels and also a visual sight indicator into the center axle area. We're now moving to the rear of the cab area. Fixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, and then also window control and a grab handle. There are 3 seats across the rear section of the cab. All of these seats do have Scba brackets located within inside them, and then also your Firecom headsets above that area. Just in front of that, you're going to find an EMS compartment. We do have a compartment light and adjustable shelving and webbing. In the center section, we'll find a lift and turn latch. Will gain you access to the rear portion of the engine. This is where you access your oil and transmission for your daily checks. Let's take a quick look at the rear wall once again. You can see the 3 seats across the rear wall. Let's move to the exterior now. We'll move to the Shoreline Inlet. This is a 20 amp auto eject plug. As we move to the body, at the top section, roll-up compartment door, you'll find 2 backboard storage locations, also a warning placard indicating entanglement hazard. Because of the lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. That's the 2.5 inch discharge and also the release for the speed load. As we move to the bottom, we'll find 2.5 inch discharges. The release mechanism to release those trays is also located in the center area. As we move to the notch just below this section, let's take a look here, all the items, and we'll identify them next. Let's first start with the 2.5 inch ball valves. They are located here and are locally controlled. We do have a warning placard regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. Just to the right, you'll find the Pierce logo American Flag Eagle. This is your large diameter pump inlet. Moving to the right, you're going to find your auxiliary foam functions for foam inlet, strainer, and also drain. To the right, you'll find your warning regarding fall hazard. When climbing onto the vehicle, always face the vehicle. Also, in regards to that foam, do not mix different brands or consistency of the foam for the possibility of foam failure. Here's the second 2.5 on this side, number 3 driver's side discharge. As we move to the right, you'll find the driver's side auxiliary inlet, locally controlled ball valve, female inlet. You'll also find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains across the bottom section. We do have an additional step that will fold out to increase the size. As we move now into the compartment, we'll start at the pump panel at the very top section. If your pump has been properly engaged from the cab, the light will illuminate OK to pump. As we move to the left, you'll find the minimum operation maintenance schedule. To the right, we're going to find this gray area, which is the master intake and master discharge gauges. Both of these are the main gauges for your apparatus. Below that is where you're going to find the test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. They're currently plugged, and those are for testing purposes. You'll also find the PCM fault. We have a visual indicator light and then also an audible alarm at the bottom section. The outer edge of that audible alarm does rotate, allowing it to brighten or dampen sound. These are going to be our discharges, front number 1, number 2, and the 2.5-inch crosslay, all foam capable. To the right, we have a fire pump push to prime, air prime with instructions for at least 1,000 RPMs for best practices. To the right, water tank level indicator, and then also further to the right, your pump boss, which is your pressure throttle governor. We do have a warning label here indicating only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after you've received proper training. Let's move down on the pump panel, vertical sidewalls, where you're going to find some additional switches for scene lights, and then also an air horn switch. We do have an electrical caution, power, and signal distribution label located on the vertical wall just below the switches also. As we move down to the lower section of the pump panel, we're going to find our tank fill and recirculating line. Right next to it is the tank to pump, and then also the deluge discharge. As we move further to the right, you're going to find your Husky 12 foam system specifications and also operating instructions. The red is the module that controls the Husky 12 foam system. To the right, you'll also find a foam level indicator for tank A. As we move down, the valves are electric on the passenger side. This is the number 2 passenger side valve and also the large diameter passenger side discharge. As we move to the very bottom, color-coded and labeled discharge drains, let's take a look into the pan door. We'll find first the foam lever. This is the yellow handle just inside the compartment. It coincides with the directions on the side of the door. As we move down lower, you'll find your manual pump shift. It's a protected switch and also has an indicator when it is active. Across the bottom, once again, color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Let's go back to the minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 test pressures. On the left-hand side of this placard, you'll find the associated GPM at test pressure. On the right, the associated RPM at test pressure. We also have the 5-digit job number 37534 on this placard also. Let's move now to the compartments just to the rear axle area, where you'll find Scba bottle storage for 3 Scba bottles. As we move to the upper section, you'll find a tool board, also the ability to lock that tool board into position. You'll find 3 Scba bottles with retaining straps also. As we move down to the rear axle, you'll find Michelin tires and Alcoa wheels. Let's move from this location to the next rear of the axle, where you'll find the ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. It's the silver cap, and then also the blue cap, which is a 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. As we move to the rear compartment of this area, first at the rear section, this is where you're going to find adjustable shelving and also a tray down in the lower section with a pull-out tray. The release mechanism is located on the right-hand side. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus next. You can see all compartments are open and the ladder has been deployed. We'll start in the uppermost left corner of the image with your 10-foot folding ladder and then 2 long-handled tool storage locations also. As we move down from this location to your ladder storage, ladders are stored vertically. Here's a 24-foot extension and a 14-foot roof. Let's move to the rear section of the hose bed where you'll find your backup camera and also traffic advisor. As we move to the base section here just above the tailboard, we're going to find roll-up compartment door, LED lighting, and ventilation. Moving now to your suction hose compartment, and then as we move downward from that, you'll find an additional long-handled tool storage. We also have some warning placards here regarding fall hazard, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion, and then also your rear scene lights light switch. As we move around to the passenger side, we'll find a tray that's adjustable, and at the very bottom section, you'll find the release mechanism on that tray down on the lower right-hand side with an adjustable shelf in the center point. As we move now to the section where the rear axle is located, Scba bottle storage here. As we move up to the top section, you'll find a tool board, storage on both front and back side that will lock into position. There's a release mechanism on the hinge side. 2 Scba bottle storage location here. And then also as we move to the ground area, Michelin tires, Alcoa wheels. Let's move back up into that Scba storage, 3 bottle storage locations here, and also retaining straps. As we move to the forward section of the axle, you're going to find these warning placards regarding extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures. Be cautious where you choose to park your vehicle. As we move forward to that location, we have a large compartment with an adjustable shelf, LED lighting. As we move to the midsection here at the top, roll-up compartment door, same configuration as layout as we have on the passenger side, and I would like to point out a warning regarding entanglement hazard. As we move downward, we have those 2.5-inch discharges and also release mechanism for those trays located in the center. As we move to the pump panel on the passenger side, let's start in the upper left corner with a warning placard regarding if climbing onto the vehicle, always face the vehicle while climbing on. As we move to the right, we'll find your auxiliary foam function for inlet, strainer, and also drain. And I would like to point out that we have a cab lift located on this side. We have instructions on the placard for lift and raise and also downward. We do have some warning information regarding do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. American flag, Eagle, Pierce logo, large diameter, pump inlet on the passenger side. We also have an additional auxiliary inlet on the passenger side, 2.5-inch female, locally controlled ball valve. Because the valves are located on this side also are electronically controlled, there is an override. This is for the large diameter discharge. Discharge is located for the drains down at the very bottom section. Let's move now back to the cab area. As we move forward to the cab area, once again, fixed to the door panel on the rear section, we're going to find all of our warning and safety information placards, and also door lock and latch, window control, and a grab handle. As we move inside the compartment, you'll find on the passenger side as well as on the driver's side this EMS compartment. We do have lighting inside and also netting on the exterior. This compartment does access from the outside. As we look to the center overhead, you'll find push on and off white and red lenses. Those are the lights and also your air conditioning unit. This is the accessible compartment from the exterior or inside, adjustable shelving, once again LED lighting, and then also Shoreline outlet, 20 amp, and also a 12-volt breaker panel at the very top section here, or bus. To the front axle, you'll find Michelin tires, Alcoa wheels, and also a sight gauge. Let's go ahead and move inside of the officer space, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, electric window control, and a grab handle. As we move to the A-pillar, this is where you're going to find the fill location for your windshield wiper fluid. Also, as we move to the floorboard, you'll find a foot pedal for the mechanical siren activation. Let's move from this location here to the rear of the seat, where you'll find 12-volt access via a bus bar. As we move to the front section of the cab, we'll go ahead and identify a few items within this area. First, let's start with some push buttons. We have an air horn and also a siren brake. Let's go ahead and general view overhead, and then we'll identify some of the areas in the front section of the dash upper portion. This is your FireCom base station. As we look underneath this location, you'll find the wireless system for your FireCom base system. Also some red candy cane wiring that indicates what type of wire is behind. The next set of images are going to be that of the chassis from underneath and also the engine. I would like to point out on the driver's side, when the cab is fully tilted at a 45-degree angle, this is a safety bar that's put into place for cab security. Just as a reminder, do not lower the cab back on this device. It is purely a safety device. Let the hydraulic cylinders hold the cab upright. Another angle of the bar to the left. Your vehicle is equipped with a TAC4 independent front suspension, shown here. You'll also notice just underneath the battery box is where you'll find your 12-volt access via battery studs. Transmission and Repto drive. X12 engine, Cummins. The next set of images are going to be that under the body section. Let's go ahead and move now to the top section of the cab, the roof. This is considered a non-walking surface, and that's why we have these warning placards indicating that this may be fall injury just because of it being a slippery surface. Let's go ahead and go to the dunnage area next, where you'll find the master stream device and then also your Husky foam system hydraulic reservoir. You'll also see the yellow diamonds highlighting the edge of the walkway for firefighter security and safety. As we move now, this is the top fill location for that hydraulic oil. As we move further back, look to the center section of the dunnage area. You'll find the top fill for your water tank and also foam fill. What I would like to point out is do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. This is your water tank top fill location. We'll take a quick look moving back now toward the hose bed area. There are 3 hose bed dividers located in the back. They are movable. There's also hatch compartments on the passenger and driver side, 2 on the passenger and then 2 on the driver side. We'll go through the images here. Dry deck material. We do have also LED lighting inside those hatch compartments. That's going to conclude our orientation of your new apparatus. Congratulations, Twin Falls Fire Department, Iowa, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 37534. If you have any questions about your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you, and congratulations on your new vehicle.